Omelet's guest this morning is Rebecca Ann King, Miss America of 1973, and she was in the city recently. We had a chance to talk with her. What goes through one's mind when you're up there going through the paces in the contest itself? Are you aware of what you're doing, or are you sort of in a daze?
I think the girls are very aware of what they're doing, and I know that I was. You have to concentrate on what you're doing. As a matter of fact, behind the scenes, if you're relaxing, trying to relax, you're thinking about what's going to be happening next because you only have one chance. And it's a 4-night show, though, unlike most people think. Instead of just a 2-night show for one-night show for a couple hours, it goes on for 4 nights. I think the girls know what they're doing. It's a tough thing.
Does the tension build as it does go on for 4 nights? Are you more on the brink as the last night rolls around or not?
I know that I wasn't. I think that my state people and the people around me put no pressure on me as far as do this, do that. I was very relaxed and very comfortable the final evening. I felt that if I won, that I was going to have a very busy year, and if I didn't win, I was still going to have a very busy year and at least receive some scholarship money that would allow me to go to law school.
They have eliminated the questions, the little questions at the end of it. Do you think that was a good move?
Well, I think it gave the public the wrong idea. It really had no part in the judging at all. It was kind of a time killer at the very end of the show, and I'm afraid the public felt that it was probably the most important question. The interview, which is, I think, the most important part of the judging, goes on during the week, and my interview happened to be on Wednesday.
Now, is this on a personal one-to-one with the judges, and what are some of the questions asked? What I'm probably asking now?
It is on 10 to 1. There were 10 judges this year. You go into a room for about 7 minutes, and they ask you any questions that they care to. I think it's not so much what you say, but how you answer them. I was asked very loaded questions, you might say, very politically oriented kinds of questions. I think it varies with every girl. They asked me many things along that line, and we kidded around a little bit about living on the farm, too, and being Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm.
But you don't think they're influenced by the way you answer, it's just how much poise and how quickly you can get your answers together. Do you think there will be always a future for the Miss America contest? So many things we think are coming to an end, or they're going to have to be changed. What are your views on the contest itself?
I think the Miss America program has been changing for many, many years now. They're constantly reevaluating what's happening in the program. Quite often, again, the people who watch one night a year for 2 hours expect the same girl to be crowned that was crowned 10 years ago. It's not feasible, not with young women changing a great deal now and in the near future, I'm sure, always. I think it's a program, again, that will continue to go on. It's a scholarship program. What could be more relevant than what's happening with women today than helping a young woman get into a professional field or further her education? And in the past, history of man, women, the community, the state or whatever has always looked for some kind of ideal woman in art, in sculpture, in idols, things like that. I'm not saying that the Miss America program is an ideal woman kind of thing. I don't pretend to be a representative of all young women, but it's a thing that's been going on for a long, long time, much longer than 1921.
I think in some things I've read about you, Rebecca, they say you are something of a new breed or a little bit different. Do you want to answer that? What does that mean?
I'm not sure what it means, really. It's I know that the comment's been made. I only can say that I'm an individual, and I'm Rebecca King first, with Miss America at the end of my name, and it's a title as a job, like the title of a bank president or anything else. It's going to allow me to do a big job, and other girls have been individuals also.
How would you classify, and I guess this is too general to ask you, the motivations of the different girls who enter such contests, the state pageants first and then on to that? Are they a special breed, or do they all have different goals and objectives and view the contest differently?
I'm sure each girl views the contest differently, what it's going to offer to her, what she can do for it. I saw it as more, again, I say a two-way street. I was involved a year prior to this in the Miss Colorado pageant, was second runner-up. I did a great deal of work in the program, believed in it, and felt that I had something to offer to the program in return for the scholarship money. I think I don't feel that a girl should get involved to be placed upon a pedestal and admired and awed and looked at, and it's a lot more hard work than just being pretty,
There's a lot of travel involved, for one thing. Were you ever, I was thinking about this on the way over, ungainly, long legs, pimples, and the whole bit, or were you always pretty?
Well, of course, there were many more beautiful girls there than I at the pageant. I wore braces at one time. I wear contacts now. I was skinny at one point, and tall and gangly, I'm sure, for my age.
Did you, did you ever think of yourself as being pretty, or you just developed and you were not aware of it?
Well, I never really thought about it. I was so busy involved in political kinds of things, dramatics, singing. I was never really oriented towards being the homecoming queen or anything like that.
Let's talk a little bit more about what you have been involved in, what you majored in, and what you'd like to pursue after your year's over.
Okay. I graduated from Colorado Women's College in 1972. The college is in Denver. It's about 1,000 girls. I majored in secondary music education. This past year, prior to my winning the Miss America pageant, I was working in a national public relations firm in Denver. And then this coming fall, I would have been going to law school, but I can't seem to fit both of them in.
Not at the present. When did you decide to go into law? Was this after you had finished in your music, or did you have it in mind all along?
I had it in mind around my junior year of college, so I continued to get my education degree in music, stay very involved in that, but also gave myself a background in political science, psychology, sociology. I did a great deal of work along that area.
Are you optimistic, speaking of politics, and you said you were asked a lot of political questions about the future of the country at the present state?
I'm very optimistic about it. I think it's going to work itself out fine. I think it's brought to the people across the country the idea is that we must continue to change our government, maybe not drastically, more evolutionary than revolutionary, and I think things are just going to work out fine for us.
You ever see yourself going into politics in any role?
Well, maybe someday. I've considered it after my law school is over with. Maybe I will get into general practice in a smaller community. Maybe politics. I'll probably always be in the background, maybe in an elective office someday, and then possibly on the bench. I'm very interested in juvenile law, and I think that the young people get kind of a raw deal many times at the bench, at the in the court system itself. So if it remains the same, let's say in a quarter of a century when it would be feasible for me to be appointed to the bench, then I would like to get involved with the juvenile people.
One final question. What about matrimony or beaux in the background? Of course, I know that's limited this year. And does being a beauty pageant winner have a advantage or a disadvantage as far as males are concerned?
First of all, there's no one in particular in the background. Even if there was, I'm afraid we wouldn't have much time. And I'm really never in one place long enough to get to know anyone that well. And then again, when you said beauty pageant, it sort of makes me cringe. I really don't think that I am a beauty queen by any means. And I haven't really had that much chance to test out whether or not it scares people off.
All right. Thank you so much, Rebecca Ann King, for being a guest this morning on Omelet. Stay with us. We'll be right back.